Did you know that the Foo Fighters used to be AIDS denial people? The Foo Fighters, the band, Dave Grohl, formerly of the band Nirvana. Yeah, so here's a fun little thing. I found this article. The Foo Fighters' AIDS denialism should be on record. At age 52, the Foo's Dave Grohl is rock's cool uncle. Here's a bunch of cool stuff that he's done. You know, when Kurt died, I had this whole new outlook on life that we're all so lucky to be here. You can't take life for granted, blah, blah, blah. So back in the 90s, I was in a very famous TV show, and the Foo Fighters were supporting very publicly an organization called Alive and Well AIDS Alternatives, which was an AIDS denial group that argued that HIV did not cause AIDS and that HIV was, in fact, harmless and non-contagious. Alive and Well argued that AIDS was likely caused by recreational drug use and or the very antiretroviral drugs themselves, which were being used to treat HIV patients. Like, people were saying that, you know, people were getting drugs to treat HIV and that the drugs were giving them AIDS. As such, this organization discouraged people from taking HIV tests, practicing safe sex, or for those living with HIV, accepting medication. Like, okay, but why? But there's like so many other reasons to practice safe sex. Why would you advocate? Why would you become? Okay, so this is what I learned. People have been on the side of the virus my entire life. Yeah, this is insane. How much do you have to hate someone to tell them that their medicine is fucking poisonous, right? So to be fair, the earliest treatments for AIDS did have very intense side effects, including blindness. Like, the medicine that you were on to try to like contain your symptoms of HIV and AIDS would cause like severe complications sometimes, because of course we're like trying to come up with a medication to treat a brand new fucking disease. Oh, it gets even fucking better, dude. So in the late 90s, its director was personally received by South African President Thabo Mbeki, a man who also denied the link between HIV and AIDS, and by banning antiretroviral drugs in public hospitals, is credibly blamed for hundreds of thousands of deaths. Alive and Well charity was was amplified by one of the biggest bands in the world. In early 2000, President Clinton's director of AIDS policy admonished them, saying, quote, "For the Foo Fighters to be promoting this is extraordinarily irresponsible behavior." There is no doubt that there is a link between HIV and AIDS. They based this apparently on one book that adopts this theory, and that one book was called What If Everything You Thought You Knew About AIDS Was Wrong? Self-published pseudoscience written by Alive and Well's founder, Christine Maggiore, a woman diagnosed with HIV in the early 1990s. This fell into the idle hands of Foo Fighters bassist Nate Mendel, and Mendel conscripted his bandmates into the advocacy for this group. The alliance lasted years. In January 2000, the group held a benefit concert for Alive and Well, like you said, in 2001. So, like, yeah, she's dead now. You know what? Do you want to know how she died? Do you want to take any bets? To placing bets on how she died. But yeah, so up until, at least until 2000, there was a benefit concert that the Foo Fighters threw for Alive and Well. The leader said, "I'm living in perfect health without any AIDS medicines," she tells the cheering crowd between songs. Let's see. Yeah, the founder of Alive and Well is long dead, and so is her daughter. Both succumbed to AIDS. Christine Maggiore fell pregnant in 2001, spurned antiretroviral drugs, breastfed her daughter, and refused to have her tested for the virus. Like, basically, like, she deliberately gave her baby HIV. Which, like, is a crime. Like, if you have sex with someone unprotected and you deliberately give them HIV and you should have, like, told them that, isn't that a crime in some places? So, like, she gave her baby a deadly disease and then her baby died. The child was 3 when she died, and after an autopsy, a coroner ruled that the unequivocal cause of her death was AIDS-related pneumocystis pneumonia. Maggiore doubled down, and the Foo Fighters continued to endorse her organization. She accused the coroner of political bias and continued to refuse treatment for herself, and she died 3 years later after the daughter died, also of pneumonia. You might say that this is old news, except that it was never really news in the first place. See, this is what's interesting. There's almost no cultural memory of this. Like, you all were totally surprised and had no idea. I don't even know when exactly, or if the Foo Fighters have ever, like, stopped supporting this organization, because they were still openly supporting it apparently after Christine's daughter died, which would have been in like 2004. Regarding the band's destructive foolishness, the internet resembles a hastily cleaned crime scene. Professionally rinsed, however, are Paul Brannigan's in-depth and best-selling 2011 biography of Grohl and Mick Wall's 2015 band biography, quote, Learning to Fly. Many years of interviews and magazine profiles, accounting for hundreds of thousands of words, have never referenced it. A 5,000-word profile of Grohl in Rolling Stone 2017 refers to the, quote, crazy early years of the band, which included the 2001 overdose and subsequent coma of the drummer, but the band's long and destructive support of HIV denialism is typically never mentioned. So it's not like, they weren't going into details about what the band was doing at that time. Like, no, in 2001, they were still actively supporting this organization. They quietly removed the mention of it on their website and just don't talk about it. Yeah. To be fair, I have almost no cultural memory of the Foo Fighters. Oh my god, true. Anyway, this continues on and just basically says that conspiracy theories are bad, and Grohl should know that because of the conspiracy theories surrounding Kurt Cobain's death. So that's crazy though, but I wanted to do that and then probably post it as a little segment on YouTube because this is something that most people don't know about. I had no idea, and they've scrubbed the internet of it. They've just made a deliberate point to hide it, basically, even though it was ongoing 15, 20 years ago for sure. I didn't know that HIV denialism was a thing in this capacity, but I was born in the 90s, so it's unsurprising I missed this. Right, I didn't know that there was I could imagine there being skepticism about the existence of HIV or something, right? But not that there's a specific denialism between the connection between the human immunodeficiency virus and then the syndrome that happens as a result. Editing Lux wants to point out that there was also a study that literally just came out the week that I'm editing this that is showing that COVID is causing acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So COVID will give you AIDS, so prepare for an entire new wave of AIDS denialism that has nothing to do with HIV. Yay! People denied the relation between people with COVID dying of heart attacks and the COVID-19 virus. Oh yeah, people keep saying that oh my god, all these young people having heart attacks, the vaccine is causing heart attacks. It's no, we literally fucking told you that COVID is a cardiovascular disease, you idiot. Children are immune was one of the worst things people could say about COVID. Who knows what health problems will be linked to it in the next 10 to 20 years when they grow up. I mean, this is crazy because there's already been so many documented health problems, like children developing type 1 diabetes, 8-year-old children developing type 1 diabetes. Something that you're usually born with. Children's teeth falling out, even children's adult teeth falling out. I told my boss that long COVID had been linked to neurological issues that could be hidden for a while and then resurge. She went white. She's had it twice. It got worse when I let her know that it can have a stacking effect. Yeah, I think people don't understand how viruses work. Once you have a virus, congrats, it's living in your body forever. You might not be sick from it after a certain point, but it's in your body forever. And I actually I have noticed a little bit of neurocognitive decline after I had an infection. I think that I had Delta. I never got tested, but I was sick, and I'm pretty sure that I had the Delta wave. It was during that time. And I have noticed some weird memory issues, and there are times, a couple weeks back, maybe a month ago, I was wow, it feels like my memory issues are just totally gone right now. Aside from the usual ADHD memory issues that I have, which are, again, I'm used to that. It comes and goes, right? It gets better and it gets worse. I had Delta and I've had cognitive issues. Yeah, I feel like Delta was not too bad as far as the long-term effects. Delta's pretty mild, and I had been vaxxed pretty soon before that. Before I caught it, I think. So I know someone who had COVID-19 3 times. They had debilitating long COVID symptoms for months. They were vaccinated, just unlucky. There is only a small difference that the vaccine makes to your outcomes for long COVID. And also, the vaccine is less effective after 6 months. So unless you're getting a new booster twice a year, a lot of people, quote unquote, are vaxxed. But if you only got the first 2 and you never got the bivalent booster and you've never gotten any boosters since then, you are unvaccinated now. The disease is so much different than it used to be, and your immunity can wane. I'm saying they were unlucky to get it 3 times despite being boosted. No. Vaccine does not prevent you from getting COVID. It's not like a magical barrier. It's just to reduce the intensity of your infection. The COVID gets inside your body, and your body has a reaction and starts trying to kill it. Stabbing is what I'm doing. I'm stabbing. It starts trying to stab it, right? But doesn't prevent you from getting an infection. It only helps you get over it faster and hopefully keep it from getting as intense, right? So, like, that's what the fucking problem is you people keep getting vaccinated and then you go do stupid shit and you're fucking surprised when you still catch it. Like, it's not a ward against the disease. It's not like a magical protection on you. Like, the whole concept of a fucking vaccine is that it's teaching your immune system to recognize the virus so that it can more effectively fight it off. You still have to protect yourself from transmission. Your friend isn't lucky, they're stupid. Just wear an N95. I swear to... I go to the gym and wear an N95. When I go for my walks in the morning to do my cardio, I wear an N95. Because first of all, people walk past you on the sidewalk and you literally can catch COVID from that level of exposure. And second of all, because it helps with my allergies. But like, you can just wear an N95. Where I live, people have just now gone back to normal, i.e. coughing all over each other. It's like we already don't respect the flu. There are preventable deaths every year in the United States from flu. And we just don't care, apparently. We're doomed as a species, I think, y'all. We're doomed. Thank you so much to my August supporters, including Tiago Nascimento, Mersh Rolvog, Amanda B., Danielle McDonald, Sarah A., Spooky Heather Sylvia, Robin Olson, Athiette, Kevin Young, Michelle Winter, Past Null Infinity, Jamie Jam, DZXN, Desi Quiche, Suzanne Maynard, Kitty Tick, Nova, Mr. Atheist, Elizabeth Bartell, Sojo, and Michelle Frateroli.